of the Ethiopian illegal migrant Hadush Kibatu, who, of course, was found guilty of. And an Ethiopian illegal migrant paedophile has received less time in prison than 3 men who were arrested for violently protesting because of the actions of that same illegal migrant. Those 3 local men from the Epping area were arrested and now have been sentenced for violent disorder during a protest at Epping Hotel over the sick and vile actions of the Ethiopian illegal migrant Hadush Kibatu, who, of course, was found guilty of touching and trying to kiss a schoolgirl in Epping and a further attempted sexual assault of an older woman. Kibatu was sentenced to just 1 year in prison. Rightfully, locals in Epping were furious at Kibatu's actions, and their movement sparked countrywide protests. Of course, as the reality that these illegal migrants were not the doctors, engineers and nurses you were all promised finally sank in across the country, didn't it? Now, how much time do you think the 3 men who did act outrageously and violently, might I add, and I'll just say that if there's any shadow of a doubt here, I do not endorse what they did, but how long do you think they got in prison compared to the illegal migrant who sexually assaulted a child? Well, the 3 local men received the following sentences in prison. Dean Smith, 1 year and 10 months. Martin Pegram, 2 years and 2 months. Stuart Williams, 2 years and 4 months. Yes, that's right. All 3 of them had harsher sentences than that sick paedophile who illegally broke into our country and then days later, literally a few days later, sexually assaulted a child and then attempted to sexually assault a woman. It is nuts, isn't it? The judge, who oversaw both the cases for Kibatu and the 3 local men, who of course were sentenced, Jamie Sawyer, he's the judge, he said this: "I am satisfied that this was racially motivated, at least in part, and you wished for the asylum seekers to be removed from the area. You didn't wait for due process, you wanted to take matters into your own hands." And look, I am simply and quite obviously outraged that their actions, that those 3 men's actions were deemed worse than the actions of the illegal migrant who sexually assaulted a child. It's nuts, isn't it? It's crazy that there's even a comparison. I also want to cast your minds to the recent story of a man who was brutally attacked by a knife-wielding Muslim man because he was offended that a protester was burning a Quran outside the Turkish embassy. That man didn't get a single day in prison. Can you see the problem with that? Or what about Moffat Conophilia? In December 2023, he sexually assaulted a 17-year-old girl on Weymouth Beach by kissing her without consent after she rejected his advances. He got an 18-month community order, including 100 days of alcohol monitoring and 60 hours of unpaid work. Yet again, no prison time. These cases expose the deep rot in our judiciary, whether it's the fault of activist judges, police not doing enough to hold the peace, or sentencing guidelines, or all of the above, frankly. It is broken Britain in action, with the hammer coming down, seemingly, on British people tougher than it does for sick illegal paedophiles who break into our country. Two-tier Britain cannot continue. It is pushing this country to a breaking point and making a mockery of our country.
and I just wanted to come down here to show my solidarity for Allah and also for Layla, but also for her wonderful family as well. And we first met Layla through John McDonnell, one of our colleagues in Parliament, who'd invited the family in to Portcullis House. And it struck me as soon as I met Layla, what an incredible force of nature she is, intellectually and in every other way. And then John McDonnell showed me a book of Allah's writings, and dipping into that, I could see where he got it from. And so to meet his wonderful family as well. And it pains me to think of the situation that Layla's in. I'm in awe of her determination, but it pains me to the bottom of my heart to see the situation she's in, and the situation that Allah's in, and of course the situation that all her friends and family are in. So we here and always call upon the government to do more, because what we can't have is a situation where one day the government says to themselves, if something really awful happens, well, if only we've done more yesterday. As Carla said, we need more action from the government. We want to see them take every action they possibly can to bring Allah home and end this, so that one day we can all meet together in London with Allah, with Layla, and with everyone in celebration at victory and in celebration of a life ahead.
And an Ethiopian... Well, I'm quite disgusted with Zara, should I say, Sultana, the former co-leader of the beleaguered Your Party, who has compared Nigel...
she's been made a political prisoner.
Yeah, she has.
She was being used as an example to other people. It's harrowing that we've reached a situation in the UK where someone like Lucy Connolly, not a bad speck on her record, who is a childminder to kids from all different backgrounds, all different races, gets upset one day because little kids have been murdered, and she was thinking about the parents of those children.
Yeah, of course.
And she wrote something and then later deleted it, thinking, this isn't me, this is not how I normally say things. Then she did plenty of tweets saying, you know, the rioting's dreadful, I wish it would stop. I mean, it's case closed. The woman's not a threat to society. There's no reason for her to be in prison. The reason they've abolished her visitation rights is because they've made her a political prisoner.
Yeah.
So now they can't risk having her out and having the newspapers and the paparazzi all around her. They are disgusting.
I know.
This is the sort of behaviour that happens in really dodgy countries with tyrannical leaders, the sort of people that we go crying to the UN about, the sort of people who we said, oh, look what they're doing to Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe over in Iran, putting her under house arrest because they want to use her as a political pawn. You know, the world shed tears over Nazanin.
But don't worry, they're letting plenty of other...
Lucy, forget it. They're
letting plenty of other prisoners out, though, because they've embarked on a £700 million scheme to put people on electronic tags. But she can't have one. But you can have a couple of rapists, you can have some domestic abusers, you can have some sex fiends, sex attackers.
40,000.
40,000. Yeah, I know. It's absolutely incredible.
And your plank, Alex, actually said, we are the home, the bastion of freedom of speech.